Hey everyone! Before we dive into today's show, a huge shout out to those who sent in super thanks. First up, Wendell Palmer dropped $5 and said, "Thanks. Watch you every episode. Huge fan of both you and the boys." Wendell, appreciate that so much. Your support means the world. We also got a simple but powerful thanks from Cowboys Fantasy and another one from Pray Hustle Shine Exotics. Not quite sure what that is, but love the energy. All those $5 super thanks and super chats get you entered into the George Pickens jersey raffle. And yes, I keep a detailed spreadsheet tracking every single entry. So if you want a shot at that jersey, keep the super thanks coming. Now, let's get into some questions from you guys. CJD Young, I asked about my confidence level in Dak Prescott, staying healthy this season, giving it a 69 out of 100. Honestly, CJ, that's a pretty fair number. I'm worried, and I think any realistic Cowboys fan should be, because if Dak goes down early, especially by Game 7, it's a nightmare scenario. The team's momentum stalls, the playoffs slip further away, and you're stuck in a frustrating middle ground. Not quite bad enough to secure a top quarterback in the draft, but not good enough to make serious playoff noise. That kind of mediocrity is the worst place to be, picking somewhere between 11th and 19th in the draft, with no clear path forward. So yes, Dak's health is my biggest concern, and it should be yours too. Switching gears, Christian Crosby asked about James Cook, the running back from Buffalo, who's reportedly unhappy and might be available in a trade. I get the appeal. Dallas could use a solid RB. But realistically, I don't see this happening. The Bills are contenders, and while Cook's contract might be expensive, they won't just trade him away lightly. Plus, the Cowboys already have a backfield rotation with Rashad Davis and Ty Johnson, similar in investment and style to Dallas's current setup. Even if Dallas picked up Cook, would they pay him enough to keep him happy? Probably not. So it might just swap one problem for another. What do you think? Hit the comments with a T if you want to trade, or P if you'd rather pass on this one. Stephen Goltz asked if the Cowboys will sign anyone from the UFL once their season is over. It's possible. Last year, the Cowboys tried to find some gems in the UFL, didn't quite hit big on the defense, but nailed special teams contributors like Brandon Aubrey and Cavante Turpin. When you're scouting UFL players, the goal isn't usually to find a starting offensive or defensive star, but rather special team specialists who can provide depth and help win those hidden battles. So yes, keep an eye on that, but don't expect a UFL player to suddenly become your starting linebacker or defensive tackle. Robert Simmons joked about the Madden Sim recap Dak throwing 2 interceptions. Defense can't get stops, Aubrey missing a 50-yard field goal, and the coach kicking a field goal from the half-yard line, a classic simulation disaster. I'm loving the Madden Sims too. They add a little fun and chaos to the offseason, right? If you're enjoying those as much as I am, let me know. Big thanks to today's sponsor, Chubbies. Summer's officially here, which means it's time to let the dogs out, and by dogs I mean your legs. If your shorts or swim trunks have been stuck in the closet all winter, now's the time to break them out. Chubbies just kicked off their biggest sale of the year, $45 bottoms, both shorts and swim trunks, plus up to 65% off select gear. Pair their original stretch shorts with a performance polo, and you're ready for anything brunch, backyard parties, even weddings or golf outings. Don't wait, though, these deals won't last long. Head over to chubbyshorts.com/hat and use code CHATCH for 20% off if you missed the sale. Support the show and look good doing it. Now, back to football talk, Daniel said, "It's time for the Jones boys to bring in a cornerback like Jaire Alexander or Jalen Ramsey, and maybe get DJ Reader to help stop the run." I love the ambition, Daniel, but let's keep it real. It's June, and not a whole lot is happening in free agency yet. Jaire Alexander is definitely available, but the cost is still a question mark. Jalen Ramsey? Nobody wants to pay that $21 million cap hit right now. It's a huge sticking point. And DJ Reader? I don't think he's actually available, though I'd love to see him in Dallas. So for now, we wait and see if any of these moves happen once teams start making real decisions in July. Some fans have concerns about Alexander's injury history, having missed significant time in recent years. That's a valid worry. Nobody wants to pay a huge contract for a player who can't stay on the field. Personally, I wouldn't give him the $17 million he was once set to earn. Maybe a one-year deal closer to half that figure makes more sense as a calculated risk. What do you think? Will Dallas sign Jaire Alexander this offseason? Drop your yes or no in the comments. Zion asked if, with Lamb and Pickens on offense, the Cowboys have anyone comparable on defense. The plan is that Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs are supposed to be that dynamic duo. They're close friends off the field too, which helps chemistry. But Diggs hasn't been able to stay healthy, and the injury bug has hit him hard. Beyond that, it would be great if DeMarvin Overshield or Oza Odiguzua could step up, especially since Dallas has committed to a few key players beyond rookie contracts, including Dak, Lamb, Parsons, and hopefully Osa. Building a solid young core on defense is essential. Corey wonders if Trevon Diggs has any trade value. Honestly, probably not. He's got a de-escalator clause on his contract, meaning he's owed about $9 million, and with uncertainty about when he'll return from injury, possibly not until November or later, teams are hesitant. If there was interest, Dallas likely would have moved him already. It's a wait-and-see situation. How many games do you think Diggs will play this year? Let me know your predictions below. Samuel threw in a $10 super chat about Coach Mike McCarthy's successor, Mike McCarthy, and Micah Parsons' goodnight call. It's a positive sign that the coaching staff is building rapport with players. I doubt Micah would have had that kind of relationship with the previous coach, so that's a win for Shoddy's leadership. But of course, leadership alone isn't enough. There's a lot more coach Mike McCarthy's successor needs to prove on the field with game planning and scheming. So far, so good in terms of team chemistry, but the season will tell the full story. Chris Broussard asked about the possibility of me getting on ESPN's Get Up. Honestly, I try not to watch those shows much anymore. They tend to be more noise than substance, and I like keeping the focus here with you all. Finally, Crimson Cowboy asked about the offense. Will we see more plays under center with Shoddy's play calling? I think so, and that's a good thing. The Cowboys haven't utilized under center snaps much in recent years, but that can help connect the run game and play action passing more effectively. Under McCarthy, the offense often felt disjointed, the run game wasn't consistent, and the play-action game was mostly limited to waggles and forced deep shots that rarely worked. Hopefully, with new coaching, we'll see more creativity, including pistol formations and varied looks that keep defenses guessing. One last thought from Toxic Tom, curious about Pickens' usage and formation splits. The Cowboys led the league in wide splits last year, spreading receivers far apart, but many of the best offenses use tighter splits and bunch sets to create confusion for defenses. I'd love to see more bunch formations with Pickens and Lamb on the same side, running crossing routes and mixing up patterns to keep defenders on their toes. Pickens is a strong vertical threat, but can also thrive running comebacks, slants, and drags. Keeping him on the outside where he excels, but mixing things up will be key. All right, that's it for today's show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.